Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining our overview of the 10.12.00 release. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Nick Adkins, the Technical Training and Development Director here at Miva. Today, we're going to take a dive into all of the new updates and features that come with the 10.12 release. Afterwards, I'll open it up for Q&A. So make sure that you add your Q&A to either the chat or the Q&A section. And I'm going to try to make sure that we have enough time at the end for that as well. All right, well, let's go ahead and get rocking. So here's what we got lined up for today. We will start with the admin UI changes. We'll get into the product details flex component. Then we will tackle the new theme editor and font manager. We'll explore the improvements to scheduled tasks, and then cover the AI search. Then we will finish up with some developer-related updates. All right. So let's start with a really simple but effective update. That is the admin UI changes. So this demo is going to be a couple slides, but the majority of it is going to be walking through the admin. So in the 10.12 update, we have made the daily workflow smoother for those who are using PageBuilder. Under user interface, you'll notice now that the PageBuilder and theme editor section are right front and center. In fact, PageBuilder is the default landing page. This means that content management is front and center, right? Cutting down the clicks, making the experience for those using PageBuilder just a lot smoother and easier. The templates and other branch settings are still available under the advanced section here in the left navigation. So like I said, just to help everyone streamline the process of updating and getting to PageBuilder a lot quicker. All right, so next up, let's talk about the new product details flex component. Excuse me. So if you're using Shadows 10.12, so if you have a brand new build, you'll find the component already built into the prod and the PATR templates. For those of you not using 10.12, so when you upgrade your store, you can still use the component. You just need to follow the PageBuilder integration steps that you can find within our documentation, and then you add the product details component to your product page. More than likely, if you have a newer version of Shadows, you already have it integrated because you have the related products in there, but now you can add the product details. So what's really great about this component is it allows like up to 4 levels of customization. So think of it as being able to customize nested sections of the product details page up to 4 levels deep. So you can really get detailed into what you want to style and update and add. So before we get into the levels portion of it, I want to highlight something about the product details component. Under the advanced section, there is a checkbox for update URL with variant ID. So this is a big deal because it will allow you to pass the variant ID parameter with the variant ID. And it will ensure that the correct attribute options are selected for that variant. So if the store has some feeds, they can create these URLs and append the variant ID to it, and you'll have a specific URL for each one of your options. And this isn't you don't have to have a custom development to do this anymore. It comes built in if you're using the product details flex component. All right, so now when you start using the component, you'll really see how flexible it is, especially when it comes to like the data that it can pull. Under the product source section here, so by default, they're going to be on the prod and the PATR pages, and they'll use the determined by page items, and that will just use the l.settings:product structure and pull in whatever product is in that structure. But you could also change this to specific products, which is great for static landing pages or promotional items. So think of it something like this, like you could create a page called Deal of the Day. You can have 7 different product details components on the page, all pulling specific products. And you can have them each starting on a day, ending on the, not showing up any of the other days. And so you have one going each day. Somebody can come in once a week, add new ones. You could do it for a month, whatever it may be. But it's really flexible on what can be done and what can show. All right, so now let's talk about the levels. So there's 4 levels of configuration, so it opens up a lot of possibilities. So out of the box, you will have a structure like this, where you'll notice that the main content is level 1, and then you'll have images, details, and product tabs. So all of those are set up as children as the first level. And then within each of those levels, there are these type settings that control the specific information being displayed. Well, we'll talk about the type settings coming up here. But that's how you can get different levels and different containers. So if you think of these as like different containers on the product details page, you can create so many different kind of levels and containers within this component. So beyond the levels portion of it, each container includes this setting for gap, which gives you a lot of control over how it looks. And then when you're within the level itself, if it's using something like a side-by-side one, you can see that it uses this vertical breakpoint where it pulls in the layouts from theme editor, which we'll talk about in a second. And you also have these container styles where essentially these settings give you really, really precise control over every little section, every little container within this product details page. All right, so as I mentioned before, you can choose from a variety of different types to control exactly what is displayed in the flex component in that level, right? So in the initial release, we've included 5 layout types, 7 detail types, 3 pricing and inventory types, plus 2 button types and 7 feature types. So each of these types come with their own specific settings. So for instance, like we talked about before, the main content is level 1, and that is using the layout side by side. And so in there, any of these levels are going to be side by side. So if you drill down into the details level, you'll see that there's this code level. And if you look at the code one, it is using the type of detail : code, and that's just displaying the code. It gives you some settings of prefix and suffix, and then it gives you these basic stylings like we talked about before. So with all of these different types that you can choose from, you can really display any sort of product data that you need. And for developers out there, the feature fragment one is going to be really useful when you're trying to inject custom logic directly into that product details page to get some sort of custom feature that you have. So it's very flexible on how it works within PageBuilder. Okay, so I'm going to wrap it up on the product details flex component, and we are going to move into theme editor. Another exciting new addition. So as I mentioned earlier, theme editor is accessible under the content management section here, right under PageBuilder. It's also accessible in PageBuilder by clicking this little theme editor icon over here. You can go directly into theme editor. When you are in theme editor, the landing page is this global theme editor area where you can go through and you can take a look at all of your global themes that are all set up already. You could also click the display icon up here and you can get a page display of your themes. And then you can switch in between any theme that you want as well, and show the different sizes. Going back to this section here, in both views, it's a live update. So in both views, if I go in and I update any of this, you're going to see the updates live. So if we go in and we update here, see that these headings will update as well. Oops, don't want to do that yet. Okay, so when you get into the actual different sections, so the typography section comes with a heading and a paragraph, and within each of those, it will come with by default with all of these heading styles. Within each of the styles, you can go in and you can customize any of these CSS definitions that you see here. You can even do different layout sizes. So we'll talk about layouts in a minute, but all the layouts that you have assigned within Theme Editor will show up within here, and you can add specific CSS styling for the different layouts as well. Within the button section, you have these default styling for your buttons. By clicking in there, you have the same thing where you can update any of these CSS definitions that you choose. You also have the ability to update hover, disabled, and then underneath this advanced dropdown, which is also in the typography one as well, you can add a code and class name to reference in any flex component that you want or in any template code that you need to be. Under the button, here are the different sizes that you can choose as well, and specific styling for those. Also, you can click the three dots button up here, and you can duplicate any of those styles and edit them by doing it that way as well. For stores that are upgrading, all of the current Flex components will not use Theme Editor by default. So if we go and we take a look at one of these components and we come down to the styling part, this is what it will look like when a store is on 10.12 and has Theme Editor available. And so they have the option to switch to Theme Editor. It is recommended that you go in and you set up your theme, the store set up the theme the way that matching the look and feel of the store, and then go switch to Theme Editor. It's also important to note that if a store is going to be implementing the product details Flex component, the Flex component only uses Theme Editor. So if you wanted to use the Flex component and implement that on the product details page, you have to set up Theme Editor because it uses those settings to style the product details page. And finally, the Theme Editor styling is not directly exportable from the UI, but our developer documentation will have all the info you need for importing the settings via XML when 10.12 launches. All right, that is Theme Editor. I'm also going to move on to talk about something that ties into Theme Editor closely, and that's the new Font Manager. Within the resources section here, there's a new fonts section where you can add, it will display 81 fonts by default. 13 of them are going to be active. It's a mix between popular Google fonts and browser standard fonts. Adding a new font is pretty straightforward. Click the Add Font button, give it a name, give it a code, font family. If you have a standard type font, you have to put the embed code in here. You can choose a Google font, and if you use a Google font, you can put the Google font name, and you can select whatever weights you want to support. If you're using a standard font, and you go in and you check all of these and you check italic, but your standard font does not support these, nothing's going to happen. So if they go in and check italic and if font doesn't support it, it's just not going to show it. So there's no validation for that. So make sure that if you're supplying your own font, the correct things are selected. All of these fonts show up in Theme Editor, as I mentioned. So any of them that are active are going to be in this dropdown right here. All right, moving on to scheduled task enhancements. All right, so within store settings, under schedule task, you'll see that there's a new view status button that replaced the view log. The view log's still there. We'll talk about that in a second. But when you create a new scheduled task, you'll see that there's a queue drop down. Stores will come with 2 queues. All the scheduled tasks that are already in there will be put into queue number 1 upon upgrade, but they'll have an option to do 2. So as our larger customers have really relied on scheduled tasks for long running background tasks like recalculating discount prices, and shorter ones that are more time sensitive, like an order workflow wait queue. Having multiple queues was just necessary, so we've added that to its scheduled task. So the view log is now under the 3 dots, but when you click view status, you'll be able to see things like not running, sleeping, executing. You could see details about what's up next, the next runtime, and the last thing that's completed. So all that's going to be available now here in actual time. Okay, that is all in scheduled tasks. Next up, we have a very exciting new product, Vexture, which includes our AI product search. And I'm going to let Kiefer take over from here to kind of talk about more about the product itself, and then I'm going to take over and show it in action.
Yeah, I'm just looking through the attendees. We've got a bunch of internal who kind of know this information to a great extent. Some agencies, partners. So we made a change in direction slightly after the conference, after Camp Miva. We decided, because there's so many unknowns here, both technical and marketing and rollout, that we would run a beta of the AI search. So I didn't lie when I stood on stage. This is in 10.12, and it did come out in spring. So that's all true. But we are doing a beta. So let's talk about that. The settings and things we're not going to go through here now. They are in the product, but there's going to be an overlay on it explaining that it's a beta. It actually has to be whitelisted on the back end, so even playing with those settings is not going to do anything. Unfortunately, even for the agencies, even though this and Redis are in the Docker build, you need to be on our VPN to get access to what we call our internal Mars server, which does the embeddings. So agencies at this point, it isn't something that is going to be testable inside Docker. So sorry about that. In terms of good candidates, we have some candidates lined up already. Some have been suggested to us by external partners. Some we've picked ourselves. But do feel free to go to either have your customers or go there on their behalf to miva.com/vexture. There's more information about the search feature at that URL. And also there's a sign up form for the waitlist for the beta. We are looking for, a great beta candidate is somebody who has slightly unique data we have somebody lined up with a very large catalog. Anybody who they don't have to be a native Miva search user. They can be a third-party user. We can test them too. So anybody that's really considering third-party or considering getting off third-party, we can at least get them on the beta and help them make a decision on whether this is a good alternative to their third-party, and then we can help them kind of move, as you devs know. There's a process to change the front end of Miva and the back end of Miva to deal with native versus third party. But this is a great opportunity for somebody who's maybe used third party search for a long time, and they did so because they needed fitment, year, make, model, or they needed faceting, or they needed something that's now native to the product. This might be an opportunity for them to, this is a great opportunity actually for them to switch to native and have the opportunity of the whole Miva stack. I think that pretty much covers what I wanted to say. Nick is going to give a view of actually how it works. It's kind of in terms of configuration, there's one tunable element that I'll be working with beta customers to find something optimal, but it really is just switch on and play. The beta process will be us hand-holding a customer to create we've got a number of scenarios that the owner of the store can use the index and do their own searches and compare the results. And then for people using Miva, native Miva search, it's just a flick of a button and it just switches on and is customer facing. For people using third-party searches, as you know, it's going to be a little bit more of a chore. But the beta is free. Vector as a product is not going to be free, and that's part of our beta, is working out the value. So let's I think it'll be the first time even internal people have seen this actually working. So go ahead, Nick.
All right, awesome. So yeah, as Kiefer said, there's going to be some settings in your store settings area. There'll be a scheduled task too that's added that helps with the indexing. But once that's set up, you basically set up the settings and then create your index of your products. My store here, I've got a ton of products in my store. You'll see it eventually. Here you go. We've got 115,000 products in my store. That's like a lighting catalog. All right. So there's a couple ways that you can, once it's all set up, once your index is set up, there's a couple ways you can do it. Under user interface, going to the global settings and the search settings. Here you can switch your AI product search index to this. And what this is going to do, this is going to switch it globally. So this is at a true global element. It is going to switch every branch. It is not branch specific. So it's important to know that once it is released and you do switch it here, everything will be switched to the AI product search, and it will not use the relational search. If you do have this set up, you'll notice that there will be a message here on searchable fields saying that it's configured for AI product search and it's only going to be used for failure. So let's go back to disable that. So if you wanted to do it on a branch specific way, you could definitely do that. So if you start by creating a new branch, and we'll call this AI search. I like this color, so I'm going to pick that one. So as I do this, I'm going to, oh, no, let's see. I can go back to my store settings. It's almost done. Come on.
And this is running in Docker, which is why it's slightly slow.
Correct. Yeah. So this is all right. And you got to remember too, my base is really big. Product index 2. Okay. So now once I have my new branch created, the product list flex component now includes some new settings that allow you to control the search. So if your search page does not include the product list flex component, then if you have a newer version of Shadows, it should. If it doesn't, just follow the page builder integration steps on our docs and add the product list flex component to your search page. Once it's in there under search results, under the flex component, under the advanced section down here, there's this new section down here called search. So this search log origin, this is just a customizable setting that it will be shown in the search log. There's also another on-demand column in the search log that will show the exact AI index that's being used as well, because once you switch your search type, you have to put the index code, which was product index -2. Was this test on the front end? All right. So I have this product. Great. It worked. Okay. So in production's using relational search. I have this product right here. Let's say someone goes in and they misspell it. I'm not getting any results in this production because it's misspelled. If I go into my AI, and now you can see I've got results, even though it's misspelled. So even though it's misspelled, AI knows that, hey, look, they're looking for this one. Let me go show them all of these products. There's so many more examples that I can show in here by showing, like searching for mood lighting and having it show up. But this was really the easiest direct way to show you just the amount. And I have it limited to 250. I can have it limited to whatever I want, and it could be in there. Another thing I'd like to point out too is that when you are setting it up, I forgot about this part. It is important to change the sort by to use relevance rather than using display order or anything else, and also adding it within here as well. So that way it sorts by the correct order, the relevance order, rather than not sorting by display order or anything like that. So really that's all you need to do once you fine tune the settings, the index settings and everything like that. It's really a matter of just pushing it live at this point. You can even, like I said, go to the global settings part and change it so everything is live as well. But really that's all that you need to do in order to set up this search.
Let's do another couple of examples of the typical things that fall on their face.
Yeah.
Is that timeout issue killing us, or are we okay?
No, we should be able to do it.
So I mean, the typical problem with relationship, if you search for two words that like bathroom, like mood lighting, or for example.
So here's this is our AI search results.
So you notice that in the results, it's not about the words mood and it's not about the words lighting. It is a knowledge within AI that these products are mood lighting. It's completely irrelevant. So even things like Mother's Day gifts, I mean, anything just works, as opposed to if we were searching this with native search, you would get everything with the word mood and everything with the word get, everything with the word mood and everything with the word lighting. So in this case, it would be crazy. So it's just smart. We're just, I mean, it just kind of works, which is another reason why we want to do beta, because it's really important for us to find the places that it might not just work. We haven't found that yet, but we really want to do some due diligence and be a little bit more thorough than just assuming it just works and get some beta clients.
Yeah. So if I mean there's any, we'll talk about the QA stuff here at the end. All right. So that's really, like I said, it's really simple to set up. It's built into the Flex component. And everything kind of just works after that. And you just, once you push it live, like Kiefer said. So moving on to a couple of developer related updates. So with the addition of theme editor, we've also introduced some Flex component properties. It allows you to have your Flex component support theme editor or not support in theme editor, or support certain things about theme editor. All that will be available on the developer docs when 10.12 launches. We've also added a cool new filter feature. I can show you real quick here. The runtime product list load query now includes this filter called variant IDs. And if you pass over the product code and whatever the variant ID you're looking for, the response will replicate that variant in these settings. So for example, in the attributes, this specific variant, this specific product I have in my store has a color and a size. And so the variant ID for 6 is red and large. And so it's telling me that number 6 has a value of red and large. Other things that it updates are things like the inventory. So this is taken from that inventory variant, and the price. The price is taken from that inventory variant as well. So it just gives you a lot more flexibility on getting data within Miva easier without running these very expensive functions. And you could just run a runtime function. And all the complete documentation will be available in the developer docs when 10.12 launches. That is pretty much it and wraps everything up. I wanted to see if there were any questions that I can cover before we close out.
Did we say that it's launching on Tuesday, the 13th?
I did not say that. I was going to let you say that. When someone asked a question, I was going to say, Kiefer, you tell them.
Yeah.
Still nobody?
Nick, I got a quick question for you.
Yeah, what's up, Rob?
Quick clarification on when you're uploading your own font. I noticed you said, like, let's say the font you upload doesn't have bold. If somebody does select bold, does it show no font at all, or it just shows like the default?
Yeah, it's gonna show the default. Yeah, it's not gonna error out or anything. It's just, it might be confusing. Somebody goes and clicks your bold one and you don't have the bold one uploaded, so it's just gonna stay what it is. But yeah, there won't be any error, or it won't stop them from viewing it.
All right, thank you.
On the fonts, it's worth also noting. I mean, we did this. The last masterclass was about efficiency and speed and auditing your sites. If you add a bunch of fonts, there's obviously going to be a knock-on effect of what has to be loaded with a page. So for sure, use best practices around lighthouse scores and performance scores, and don't add a million fonts just because it's cool.
Yeah, totally.
Be fairly opinionated there.
Georgina wanted a little bit more explanation about beta and who will be part of it or not, or is it anyone who signs up?
Yeah, I'll take that. It is. We have a number in mind. Anybody who signs up will be put on a waiting list, and they'll be evaluated based on whether they have something unique to the beta that helps us move forward, or whether there's some specific use case in there for them that makes it a good idea to get them moving faster with this product. So explain the beta and who will be part of it. So I'm not going to tell you specifically who's going to be part of it right now. We are rolling out 2 in the next 10 days who are already decided and opted in. After that, we have some people in mind that are a scattering of PS clients and other clients that we know are friendly to Miva. But honestly, it really depends who signs up for the beta. That will have an impact too.
Yeah, and I think that answers your next question too about a timeline for launch for everyone. It really just depends on kind of that process and how that goes. So
yeah, I mean, if what we find with the beta clients is everybody's just like, wow, this just works, I love it, take my money, then the beta process will be very fast. If we have some technical tuning we want to do, and we want to do another release around it, that will be slower. So I'm not going to talk specifics there right now.
awesome. Okay. I'm gonna wrap things up. So this will be available on Docs. Everyone who has attended, I'll send out email. I have a list of everybody. I'll send them out, let them know where it's available. Internally, I'll let you know where it's available as well. Thank you for joining. All the mothers out there, have a happy Mother's Day this weekend. And I will see you soon.